Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kiara and this is Budget and Grow. In this channel we tackle things cash stuffing, budgeting, and debt crushing, and in today's video I'm gonna be continuing with part 3 of our ODBJ series created by Budgeting April. So if you'd like to know my method of budgeting, please stick around for the video and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. How's everybody doing today? I hope that you're having a great start of your week. I am doing really good over here, just keeping myself pretty busy. And I am doing this intro just to let you know that the next part where I'm actually doing my method is been pre-recorded like a hot minute ago. That is for 2 reasons. Number one, for the trip, you all know all about it. Click up here if you want to know what's going on with that. But the other reason is because I thought that the part 2, which was the how, was supposed to be the method. And then luckily I saw April's clarification about it, saying that the how is like how you learn and how you started like getting into the world of budgeting. And I saw that video like a day before the release date, so I realized that I had to record a whole new video and put this one on pause. So this is the method. So I may be referring on that video as my how, and also it's been done at the beginning of the month, and I also did my October budgeting on that video, so you're gonna be seeing that. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there just so you're not confused if I talk like it's earlier in the month. So that is why now you know the secret of a creator behind the scenes. So I hope that you enjoyed this part. Don't miss it, because I think that it has a lot of useful tools, maybe something new for you. And it also helps my channel. By the way, I just recently hit the 1,000 my first 1,000 watch hours. I still have a long way to go with my subscribers, but I'm getting there. So thank you so much for your support, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Let's go. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you the tools that I use for my budgeting. And you should know first that I am a hybrid budgeter. So I use my credit cards for the majority of my bills and expenses for my day-to-day things, right? But then I also do the cash envelope system. So the way I work it out is this way. Of course, if you follow my channel, you already know all about this, so you can maybe skip like a minute or so to see the actual budgeting. But this is my bills and expenses binder, and this is where I cash stuff all of my budgets right here. So I have all of my budgets listed here, and then I use this cash slip. So this is for September, for the month that just finished. Excuse me. So basically I have my slip with all my categories, and then I have my monthly budget. The ones that you see 2 numbers is because I had tweaked the budget throughout the month. Either I will take some money out if I feel like I'm gonna have plenty with the money that I already have, or I will increase it like here. So in this particular case, I took 20 out of groceries and I put 20 towards spend and fun money, because I decided to go out and get a burgers one night. So I figure since it's food, it will be a good exchange. So, that's to get an idea. Then every week that I get paid, I have an estimate of how much I want to stuff on, say, envelope, and that's what I do. And then I track down every week. Some weeks I will be able to stuff everything to my estimate. Some weeks I won't have enough money, and some weeks I'll have extra. So right here I was estimating to put only 21 on gifts, but I was able to put 43. So I write it down here so I know how much I'm putting on each, and it's easier when I'm actually doing the stuffing. And at the end of the month, I have my tracking tools, which I'll show you in a minute, and I basically pull out the envelopes I will take the amount that I spend on whichever. So let's say that I spend $50 on groceries and I have stuff $172. So I will take the 50 and I will pay back my credit card. Okay. So what tools do I use? So I use a couple, and I feel that's the best way for me to kind of cross-check information and not miss anything. So the first thing that I use is TRUEBILL. I'm gonna be linking my, I don't know if they have a referral actually, but I'll link it anyway. And I will be putting up in this screen screenshots of my TRUEBILL app. So TRUEBILL is gonna track all of your credit and debit transactions as well as any debt. So credit card debt or any loans, like if you have car loans or mortgages, you can log it there. Or even I was able to track my security deposit, which was a cash debt. So it's gonna tell you your net worth, it's gonna tell you your assets, and it's gonna tell you your debt. And on the spending area of TRUEBILL, and this is why I actually signed up and paid the premium after the trial period, is because I really like this feature where you can create a series of budgets. So you can create budgets for everything and allocate your money accordingly, and then all the transactions that you do on your credit and debit will come in on the TRUEBILL app, and then you can move it around. It's like, it's a smart app. So if you have a bill from the hospital, let's say, it would automatically go to a medical category, but sometimes you have to manually like adapt your budgets, because maybe like it happens to me sometimes when I get stuff at like CVS. Let's say I get chips at CVS, but it records it, like logs it as wellness, but it's actually, for me, is like spending money. So there's room to adapt, basically. So I really like this app. I found it to be very helpful. It tracks all my transactions. Sometimes you have hidden transactions, like subscriptions, or you forget that you took a cab or you bought something. So it's been really helpful to really track all of that. The one downside is, and if any TRUEBILL representatives are hearing this, please add this feature, is you cannot add cash transactions. So for example, for my laundry, I do my laundry with quarters. So I have to pull from my home budget to pay for that, but there's no way for me to log it in on my on my TRUEBILL. So usually what I do is, let's say I have a $40 budget on home and I spend $5 on laundry. What I will do is I will reduce my budget estimate on TRUEBILL from 40 to 35 to compensate for that 5. That's just so at the end of the month, when I'm checking my budget, it doesn't look like I'm like I have extra $5, when in reality I have used those $5. So yeah, so that's the only thing that I don't like about that app. But I mean, it's not a big deal because I don't really use a lot of cash. But if you're a cash only budgeter, I don't think that you will benefit too much from this app. All right, step number 2. So for step number 2, I'm going to bring out my computer, and I hope I don't get any funky messages while I'm showing you. So I use a spreadsheet for my second step of tracking. So I got this from Etsy. I will link the shop on my description box because I love this budget by paycheck breakdown. So here you have your dashboard. So now I'm working on my October paycheck. So let's do that. Let's actually do the budget. So I get paid every Friday. And then my monthly pay, so here you're gonna put your estimate and here you're gonna put your actual. So I have another app that tracks my tips. It's called Just the Tips. So if you're a server, you probably are familiar with that. But yeah, so that's how I track my estimates of paychecks. So my paychecks are very fluctuating. So a week can be $500 and the next week can be $1,200. So I'm not like, I can't really know exactly how much I'm going to make until the week prior. So I check my estimate, and for this period, my estimate should be $1,080 every week. But the second week of October, I'm not gonna have that income because I'm gonna be away, remember? So I did claim a couple PTOs. So I think I'm gonna have $200 from my PTOs for that week. And then, yeah, and then the rest of the weeks should be fine. And then here I've added is actually 1310. So this is actually my trip budget. So from the money that I save up for the trip, I'm adding it here, not on my income because it's extra money, right? So I should be expecting to bring home, including the money I budgeted for the trip, $4,750. So this will be my overall earning for this month, which is a little bit low for me here in New York, but we'll make do. So, oh, this is acting crazy. Wait. So this this spreadsheet will tell you your budget, how much you actually spend at the end of the month, and it will give you a breakdown for your bills, expenses, savings, and debt, and then if you have any cash balance. Obviously, this is what is showing because I haven't added any expenses yet. Next up, we have the part where you fill out your bills. And so for me, these bills are things that I need. So like my bare bone budgets, like the budget mom will say. So my rent is $1,600 a month. My bills were $180. So there you go. But I don't know if I mentioned in my videos before, but I split my rent in 4 payments. So every week that I get paid, I leave on my checking account $400 for a period of 4 weeks. So the money that you see me stuff is the money that I have after I've left the $400 on my checking account. For this month though, it's gonna be a little different because I'm going away and I won't have income for 1 week. So I have to split it by 3 weeks. So that means that every week this month I have to leave $530 on my checking account. So that's a little bit higher than my usual. I do have a buffer on my check-in, but I will rather not touch the buffer until I absolutely need it. So I will be trying to stuff at least $500 every week for the next 3 weeks. Phone bill is $55. Family care is $200, but this category is ever changing. It really depends on if my parents are dealing with anything specific. So I leave it at $200. That's like about $50 a week, but it can be more or less. Then fees, I've been tracking how much I pay on credit card fees, and it's been going down. When I started this journey back in July, it was over $200. Now the last month I paid $158. So usually what I do is I take whatever I paid the previous month and put it for the next month, and so far it's been dropping every month, so I'm very grateful for that. Next up is gym, and gym I put an estimate of $15. I actually get charged only about $11, but since they charge me a yearly membership at some point, I basically split that amount by 12 months and add it to my monthly budget, so that way I always have the money. So yeah, so for this upcoming month, just in my bare bones budget, that's not even including my groceries, my budget is $2,208. That's why I say it might look like I make a lot of money because it's New York money, but I also have New York bills. All right, let's move on. And then I have my expenses. For the month of October is going to be a little bit different because I am budgeting only for 3 weeks. I'm going to spend 10 days in my hometown in Peru, and there is already a budget for that specific for those 10 days. So I only have to worry about the remaining 20 days. So that's roughly 3 weeks. So I'm doing this budget for 3 weeks of living. Okay. So groceries is going to get $150. That's $50 a week. Transport is gonna get $72 for this month. Smile Direct is a fixed spend, and hopefully I am gonna be able to start stuff in 3 months ahead for this one, so I can move it here, because it is a fixed bill, you know. It shouldn't be here on my like variable expenses. Next up, I have medical, and medical is just for day-to-day medical things, like if I need band-aids or something. So I budget $30. Then I have spend and fun money. I'm budgeting $120. That is $40 a week. And this is definitely higher than other people has in their budgetings for what I've seen. But again, I have New York prices. The other day I went out for a burger and a beer, and with the tip it was $35 maybe. So, you know, that wasn't anything fancy. It was a dive, but it was an Irish bar, a beer, and a burger, and that's how much I spent. So $40 a week is not a whole lot. However, I'm not planning on going out too much because I'm just coming back from a vacay. Next up, I have tech. Tech only gets $5. Then I have my BDC, which is my dance classes. This is gonna get $125 because I need to buy a new package. Personal care is gonna get $60 for this month. Home is gonna get $30. Gifts is gonna get only $25 this month. Subscriptions is gonna get the standard $72, and this is another category that I hope I can start moving into the bills. So I have a plan to start paying some subscriptions in a yearly basis to save me some money, but I just don't have the money yet for that, but hopefully before the year ends. Shopping is gonna get $25 because I don't really have anything to shop for, but sometimes I need new shirts for work, so I thought 25 is a good number for that, for like the just in case. And then I have Given, which is gonna take another 20, and this is gonna be for a future giveaway on my channel. All right, so I have here my variable expenses budget, and this is my trip budget. I'm not gonna include it on this one because I don't want to mess up with my math for my day-to-day. So my total will be $819 for this month, and this is a very low month for me. If I manage to stay on $819, that will be amazing because it's always so much higher. Wish me luck. And then the next part of my budgeting is my savings and debt tracking. So I have here my savings. This is where I track all of my savings, and I have it listed on levels of priority. So this top 3 are my high priority savings, then is my medium priority, this is my low priority, and these are the budgets that are at full stop. So I'm not even planning on putting any money here for a few months. But of course, if I have what's going on, pause bigger because it was too small. I hope you were able to see everything else. So I have this all in pause. I don't think I'm gonna put any money here, but of course, if I start making a lot of money and I can drip some here, even if it is $1, I'll start doing that. So I have budgeted for the month of October to save $500, and hopefully I will be able to do so. And finally, I have my debt. So for debt, I am budgeting $900 for my credit card chase, and that should be the end of that card. And well, this all you already know. This is just where I keep track. I'm supposed to be paying $1,012 in debt for the month of October. Not sure how I'm gonna accomplish that, but we'll see. And okay, so this is the breakdown, but the important part of this spreadsheet and how I track everything is the next part. So this is where this spreadsheet came with a two pages. So the first page is this part, and then the second page is this part, and this is where I track all of my transactions. So here is where I put all the money that I spent. So let's say here I can put the date, here I put the amount. So let's say $1, and the category is groceries, and here I can put the details. So like I go to 2 grocery stores. So let's say I went to Trader Joe's and I spent $1. It would automatically pull this tracking into my grocery budget here. See? So now it says $1. So this is amazing. Like, I love this tracker. So I can put all the categories, and all the categories that you put here, that you write down here, will automatically become available here. So this is also flexible. You can have as many categories as you need. And this is where I track all of my expenses. I'm gonna show you my September one so you see how I track. So this is last month. It's full of color. Here you can see this is the budgets where I stay within budget or under, and these are the budgets where I went over, blah, blah, blah. And this is how I track all of my spending. Yeah. And then on my last, so this is how the spreadsheet came. Then I added 2 more pages to the spreadsheet. I have my payback breakdown, and this is where I track how much I need to pay to each credit card. So you know that I use my Chase and my Amex for my expenses. So here I also track what I spend on each credit card. So at the end of the month, I'll know how much I need to pay on each credit card. And I don't have to even think about it. I just pull the money from my envelopes and then I split it and it's done. And my final page is my savings and debt. So here is kind of where I keep track of all of my savings and debt. I have my bank accounts, and then I have my sinking funds tracking, my credit card tracking, and then I have my my interest rate tracking and the dates where they're changing. For example, my Citibank card is at 0% APR, but comes April 2023, it will go up to 25.49. Okay, so that's a lot of information. So this is how I break down all of my budgets and how I make this work for me. Other things that I use is I always carry this little binder, and I write down things like on the go, because sometimes I just hate being on my phone constantly and like trying to zoom in into stuff. So I always have a pen and paper on my purse at all times. And yeah, and I think the most important tool for budgeting is to be honest with yourself, to be honest with your spending, and just be responsible. Be mature enough to accept when you mess up. Like, who are you trying to lie to? You know, who are you hiding this from? This is for you to do. You can be on the internet, or you don't have to be on the internet to do this. But if you're on the internet, of course, you have the pressure that people are watching you, right? And this community is really supportive and very encouraging, even if you make mistakes, because we all understand that life is not perfect. And sometimes we have spendings. And honestly, if you're having a rough day and what will make your day better is having that coffee, and that coffee puts you on overage, you know what? Sometimes you have to make that decision to do what's best for you. And sometimes what's really going to bring you peace is to be able to walk away from that spending, you know? So don't be so hard on yourself, but be honest with yourself. I think that will be my advice. And I think that is how you start your budgeting journey, and how you can start really seeing a more organized way to deal with your finances. And I think when you reach that level where things are just easier for you to access, it creates so much freedom, so much peace, and so much just like joy in your life. So this is why I started my budgeting journey, to have that freedom. And this is how I do my budgeting journey. And next week, I'm going to be posting the next question. So if you have any specific questions about how I do my budget, or nothing, or something wasn't too clear, please do ask me in the comment section below. I thank you so much for your time and all your positivity on my channel. And please go follow Budgeting April so you can see the list of all the budgeters. I will be listing them on the bio as well. And this series is amazing. So if you want to be a part of the next one, I actually don't know if there'll be a next one, but if there is, I strongly suggest you to, because it is amazing. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.